Hello, everybody. My name's Harlan Uribe Mahano, and this is my final presentation for the class. Reflecting back on all four journals from the semester, my perspectives have deepened, and I can now incorporate new theoretical frameworks into my thinking. I really enjoyed learning about intersectionality and how it applies to many things, and I can see it in my everyday life. I've learned more about the importance of diversity and inclusion and how it makes the world a better place. And I feel like that's really important, um, to be able to see the value in that and to be able to tell other people why I think it's so important. A new concept that I have been able to reflect on is the importance of speaking up about what matters. Before this class, I didn't really like to talk about controversial issues because I just felt like I didn't know enough about it. And this class has made me more confident in speaking up about the things that matter. Here is my self-concept map that reflects my internal identities and my assigned identities. Some of my identities have become stronger. I feel more encouraged to speak Spanish in places and to be proud of it. I'm also exploring more of my Honduran culture, and I'm getting more pride, feeling more prideful for my heritage and where my family comes from. I've also strengthened my advocacy identities. I have became a advocate for the homeless and undocumented specifically, but really also anyone that's oppressed. I feel like that has became more um, more of who I am, and I'm proud of it. My diversity and inclusion conversation was on December 2nd. I interviewed a man named Max that was 36 years old. I had many judgments during this conversation, but I remained stoic and understanding that everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I chose this person because they are of different gender than me, and I thought that I could gain valuable information from this. Um, I did learn some things about myself during this conversation. I realized that I can be very opinionated when someone doesn't follow the same beliefs as I do. I also realized that if we want to progress in inclusion and break barriers for minority groups, it's important to use language that does not offend others. Instead, be kind and hope that they go home and do research later that brings them closer to being more open minded. Um, this interview with Max ended up maybe not being exactly what I had hoped for. Maybe I didn't know what I was hoping for. Maybe I should have chosen someone different. I don't know. But it's the person I chose, and I needed to go ahead and follow through with it. Um, but I think that is valuable. I did learn that valuable thing that we have to find a way to use different language so that people don't get offended and that we can pull them closer to us and they can feel like they are a part of the advocacy so that they can do it in their everyday life and not feel like everyone's against them, I guess. I don't know. It's a really tricky situation. Um, very, very sticky situation. But I do think I learned that valuable lesson from this interview. My current issue was that there are a lot of people in the jail system that have substance abuse issues, and I don't see enough rehabilitation for that population. Um, Instead, they're locked away and not really given the tools to deal their with the problems, the underlying issue, the real main issue that the person has. Um, Substance abuse treatment programs are needed in jails to help curb the growing drug abuse problem that we have in America. According to PBS News, it's estimated that up to 65% of the U.S. population has an active substance abuse disorder. When these inmates are released, the studies have shown that many will return to using and be arrested again within a few years. According to Module 3.3, social justice refers to a political and philosophical theory that focus on the concepts of fairness in relations between individuals and society, equal access to wealth, opportunities, and social privilege. And that's why I think that it's an important issue in social work practice, because in order it for people that are facing substance abuse problems to be treated fairly, more rehabilitation programs need to be put in the actual jails before someone ends up um, committing a felony, and now they have this criminal record for the rest of their lives. Because most of the time, the the acts that people that are um, that are on drugs, they're doing these things to feed this disease that they have, and something needs to be done about that before, and nip it in the bud before the situation expands and gets worse and the disease gets worse, and then they just do something that really hurts themselves and a lot of people also. Moreover, most ex-cons are unlikely to receive substance abuse treatment following their release from prison. Even though the odds are high, they are struggling with addiction, a new study finds. National estimates suggest as many as 85% of inmates leave prison with some form of substance abuse problem. The social worker's understanding and application of the concepts of social justice occur within the context of people's culture. The social structures of which they are part of, their philosophies, beliefs, as well as the dominant philosophies and beliefs of their culture, and the historical evolution of these structures, cultures, and philosophies. To me, this means that social justice is advocating for people that are suffering with substance abuse and advocating for the inmates and the prison population, because a lot of them do have drug problems, and that's like the underlying reason of why they're in there to begin with. Oppression designates the disadvantage and injustice some people suffer, not because of tyrannical power coerces them, but because the everyday practice of the well-intended liberal society. My action plan is to speak up and educate whenever I'm able to in whatever situation that I am in. I think that's very, very important. Um, so that people can go home later and, even if I don't want to argue, I'm not going to argue with them. I'm just going to like educate them, and later, and hopefully that later on they go home and they think about it and it makes impact in their life. Um, and I want to come from compassion and kindness so that they feel that, that they see that in me instead of attacking them, because people don't do well when they're being attacked. They're not going to learn from you when they're being or feeling attacked. I think that's really, really important. And that's something that I learned from my inclusion conversation, is that it's definitely better to come from a place of compassion, calmness. I plan on empowering my autistic coworkers. Sometimes I feel that they are excluded and that supervisors may feel that maybe they can't do as good of his job as someone that's not autistic, and I want to include them and help them and let them lead a little bit, and let them push them so that my supervisors can see that they're fully capable. They're absolutely fully capable, and they can take on bigger roles. um, I want to help them work on social skills by trying to engage them in conversations with myself and others. I think it's very important to have conversations with people that may be a little bit antisocial, and because they're really good people, and although they sometimes struggle getting words across or getting what they feel, what they think across with social cues and stuff like that, they really are. I mean, they can converse perfectly clear. They're normal people. Like they're it's great. And I want to speak up more and be a part of the community that doesn't speak a lot of English. I want to translate for my coworkers and just like be there. And my conclusion. Before this class, I did not realize how many identities I held that were either put onto me by society or were ones that I put onto myself. Now I realize that institutions and cultural socialization plays a huge part of the identities that I have put onto myself without even realizing. Um, and that's important, for that was a very important lesson for me, that these things that I think are self-chosen, they're really social constructs, and I didn't even choose them. I would like to learn more about different cultures and their customs so that I can be an effective social worker and provide culturally relevant treatment. My reference page. I hope that y'all enjoyed my presentation, and I will see y'all next